Have you ever looked at your life and thought, wow, now that should be a book someday? If your life was a book, or let's say a movie, would it be a comedy, a drama, a soap opera, a horror show, an action adventure, rom-com? Keep watching. I'm going to show you how to take charge of creating the movie of your life the way that you really want it to be, as an example, not a warning. My name is Peter Sage, and for the last 30 years as a published expert in human behavior, I've been fascinated about the difference between two people standing side by side, experiencing the exact same event and coming up with entirely different meanings and subsequent lives as a result. For some people going through divorce, it's traumatic. For others, it's liberation and freedom. Some people look at winter as a place to potentially freeze to death. Others look at it as an opportunity to go skiing. Two men sat behind prison bars. One saw mud, the other saw stars. And if you are in any kind of personal growth program or looked at or had the thought of wanting to improve your life, you've probably made the mistake most people have, which is trying to change the circumstances of your life by grabbing hold of them, getting up early, doing affirmations, visualizations, goals, vision boards, all of that stuff, and wonder why it's not working. In other words, you're trying to grab the outside world by the throat and force it to fit your pictures, when all of the successful people that I've seen don't do that, at least not to the extent that most people trying to force their life to happen are doing so themselves. Instead, they're mastering a different part of life, a life that so many people don't look at because it's just too easy to be distracted by trying to fix stuff in the outer world. And the part I'm talking about is self-mastery. Our life is experienced through emotions. Then surely mastering our response to events emotionally is a far greater predictor of success and how we journey through life than trying to fix events so they don't trigger us emotionally. That's why you can have two people go through the same event, and some people use it as an opportunity to grow and thrive, and others use it as a story to justify their victimhood. That's got nothing to do with intelligence. It's got nothing to do with how many books they read. It's got everything to do with your ability to master your emotional response. So self-mastery really is the #1 differentiator between people I've seen whose lives take off into the stratosphere no matter what the obstacles, no matter what the economy, no matter what happens in their life or business or relationship, they're always able to come back stronger. Other people seem to have everything going for them. They hit the smallest bump in the road and it's game over. Which side of the fence do you resonate most with? Have you ever seen a fly banging its head against a window and there's an open window nearby and you thought, if only the fly knew there was an open window? Like most people banging their head against life, they can see where they want to go. But there seems to be this invisible ceiling that prevents them from feeling fulfillment, the joys and emotions and the abundance that they deserve, but instead they just get a sore head. What if there was an open window 2 inches to your left that I could show you how to get through that would just make it so much easier? I'm talking about your ability to master yourself, not master circumstances. If you're still trying to fight reality, I got news for you. You probably already know it. It keeps winning. So what would have to happen for you to be able to master yourself? What are the easy steps that you could take that would allow you to move to the open window and then effortlessly carry on with your life in a direction that you wanted rather than a direction you kept fighting against? That's where ultimate self-mastery really comes into play. And why is it with so much access to resources in a world right now that allows you all of the tools to be successful and happy and joyous and fulfilled, are so many people struggling? They haven't made the emotional shifts, become emotionally more mature. And I don't mean that derogatory, I just mean it as a fact. Emotionally immature people are constantly trying to control what they can't control and then get frustrated. Emotionally immature people are still trying to create a life of comfort rather than recognize that life is a growth-centric experience and embrace the challenges, the bends in the river of life, rather than trying to dig a channel through the bank to make it a straight line so they can control and feel certainty about everything. There is no certainty in life. The entrepreneurs that succeed the most are the ones that understand that in order to play the game successfully, they become massively certain that they can handle uncertainty. The strongest trees don't grow in the best soil. The strongest trees grow in the strongest winds. But if you don't have an internal support, the lightest breeze can take you out of the game. So mastering self is the prime directive of a life of fulfillment. If you want to learn more about how to master yourself, click the link below and I'll share with you a masterclass on how to take the 5 shifts or go through the steps required in order to really stop banging your head against that window and move to a place where you can fly freely through life no matter what happens. Because if you're really trying to fight reality right now, it probably keeps winning. Stop looking for the next book, the next seminar, the next course, the next answer, because up to this point, it probably hasn't served you when it comes to really mastering the key skills in life, the skills of a fulfilling relationship, the skills of being able to get up in the morning effortlessly at 5 a.m. because you can't wait to get into your morning routine and meditate as a way to rise to a challenge that you're ready to take on with gusto, not a to-do list thing that you said you've got to do and you're now fighting against or begrudging it because you read it in a book saying that successful people have this morning routine. It's not the actions, my friend. It's your relationship to the actions you'll take. Are you being inspired? Are you being pulled towards it? Or are you trying to motivate yourself by pushing yourself in the back or kicking yourself up the ass to get out of bed and do it anyway, hoping one day it'll feel better? Disneyland thinking. Unless you master self, none of that counts for squat. So click the link below and see some of the amazing success stories that students that make those shifts can really embrace life from a place of self-mastery, and then everything changes. You want to write the story of your life so that you can be proud of handing that as a book to your grandkids and say, boom, read that. Self-mastery will give you way more freedom of writing the story of your life than trying to control anything that you're currently trying to control.